Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Beyond the Gates, episode 25. I think I'm going to put 26 with this. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Try to get even 100 likes every single episode. Now, let's go. So, the ladies are meeting in the diner and they are contemplating. Well, they pretty much made up their mind that they were going to drop the lawsuit and accept the settlement. And Naomi was like, so you're going to accept. She said, so you're going to accept without even knowing how much the settlement is going to be for no proper paperwork. And the girls were looking like, how did you know that? She said she knows her dad and she knows that this case is very valid and it can go very far. Not only are you helping, you're helping the other women in the community. And this case has a lot of merit if it didn't even try to make you settle out of court. And she was also letting the girls know that even though you may settle, that still doesn't stop your reputation. It won't help you from getting another job. At least if you win, they could validate everything that you went through was true. So therefore, it'll be a little bit easier on you when it comes to life after this case. So the ladies, they kind of looked at it and they reconvened and they not going to drop the lawsuit, which is good, because I was just like, don't let this man intimidate you without even knowing all of that evidence. Like, you're just going to settle. You don't know how much you're going to get. There is nothing in writing. And it seems like Bill is that snide of a person that he will just give them probably $10,000 each. And when their money gone, they're going to be right out here broke trying to find a job and they ain't going to be able to get one. All right, now Derek, he's feeling some type of way because Andre did a documentary about him being a firefighter that ran into a house and saved a cat. And the picture that he used looked really pathetic. It's him looking all sad and him with that cat picture. But initially, when Andre told him to smile, he gave him that raggedy face to take. So, I mean, hey, you give what you get. So now he's actually a little concerned about Ashley. Jacob brings up to his attention, do you think Ashley is just a friend or do you think it could be more than that? Derek says he doesn't really know. But Derek says he's not worried either because Andre is about to get ready to leave and therefore he can leave him and Ashley alone. Now, once again, Hayley comes to her husband, the rescuer, to tell him about an incident that she had. She was scheduled to do doubles at the tennis court, and apparently they had replaced her with somebody else. And then she goes to Bill and she knows that Bill is going to work his magic to get her back on the court. But she always says, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And he's always, they're not going to disrespect my wife. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. Then they bring up the whole lawsuit thing and Naomi. And she says that she went and she told Naomi that, she's not going to win and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, girl, just like he and everybody else is saying, you leave that alone. You just worry about going to play tennis. You keep your nose out of family affairs, because when you go and you talk to any one of these kids, you're just making it worse. And Bill lets her know, look, hey, I'll handle whatever you got going on, but let me handle his daughters. All right. So after Naomi had the meeting with the ladies, she gets upset and she goes to her dad's law office and she's telling him, like, why are you still trying to intervene? Apparently, he knows that she knows that there is a good case of her winning this lawsuit. And her whole thing is just to leave her alone, let her do whatever she gonna do, and she pretty much gonna see him in court. And also she needs his little wife to stay up out of their business. I think everybody needs his little wife to stay up out of their business. But she doesn't, because she goes over to find Chelsea and she sits down with Chelsea and has this whole long conversation about Chelsea and, let up on your dad loves you and all this other stuff. And Chelsea's whole thing is, you did my mom wrong. If you wouldn't have did my mom wrong, then it wouldn't be an issue. Hayley's thing is, your mom, okay, but what about how your mom did me? And just going back and forth about how she ran up in her house and how she, shot the flowers at the wedding and all that stuff. But I look at it at the end of the day, but Chelsea did make a comment saying, well, you would understand how my mom felt if you had a mom. But then it kind of made Chelsea feel a little bit bad because, at the end of the day, she doesn't have a mom. But when you're going back and forth into an argument, anything is easily to be said. So Was that comment low? Yes, it was a little low, but at the same time, did you not sleep with her daddy and break up her family, and then now everybody don't like you and you run around here trying to find somewhere to eat, sleep, lay, and play? I mean, pretty much that's on you. So hey, what she said, you pretty much laid your bed. Now you gotta lay in it. This is a family affair that you caused. So yeah, so you gonna get what you gonna get, and it is what it is. And Hayley's whole thing, but she did kind of, one thing Hayley did do, she did kind of make her kind of think about not giving her dad such a hard time. And then when she tries to like stop Chelsea from leaving, Hayley was like, "Are you gonna take baby steps?" And Chelsea says she'll think about it. And for some reason, that just made Hayley's day. That's all she needed, was just a small piece of a win, just so she can say she's doing something to mend this family that she has broken. Now back over at the hospital, Andre and Ashley are having this weird, awkward conversation while the nurse is pretty much gossiping about what's going on. So the nurse is on the phone gossiping about all the hospital drama when she kind of sees Ashley and Jacob over there, Ashley and Andre over there in the corner talking. And so she kind of eavesdrops, and they're saying that they're going to be buds. Ashley and Andre are going to be buds. They're going to take the pictures and all that stuff. They give themselves this old awkward handshake, and that's pretty much it. Ashley ends up talking to the nurse Shanice, and Shanice is like, "Hey, I see what's going on." She's gonna put it in medical term. You have got a dose of Andre, and the symptoms are written all over your face, baby. You can't shake it, and it is showing. So pretty much Ashley got the hots for Andre, and she keeps trying to say that she got a man just to make her feel better, as if that was going to change the prognosis, or the diagnosis. But at the end of the day, you still got the hots for Andre, and it ain't going nowhere no time soon. Because Shanice said, if you don't want him, I'll take him. Period. So now Andre goes over to the little bar place or whatever, where everybody else is, where Jacob is there, Naomi ends up getting there, Marcel ends up getting there, everybody's over there, right? And so it's weird because Andre and Derek, they have this weird conversation, and it's always about Ashley. First, they talk about the little photo shoot or whatever, but Andre says he can, make good on that because now he's still going to be working at the hospital doing documentaries and all that stuff. And he also says that Ashley is going to be a part of it. They have these big going back and forth. Oh, you're the famous this. Oh, you're the great hero. I guess they're bigging each other up. But at the end of the day, it's almost like, Ashley, my girl, you're not going to get her, but I might end up getting her at the end. You know how I guess this whole dynamic is between them, which Derek ends up inviting Andre to dinner. And I'm just like, why would you do that? I guess keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's what he's trying to do. But I'm thinking that might backfire. Now Ashley gets home from a long day's work 8 minutes earlier than she normally does. And that is when Derek drops the bomb. Yeah, I invited Andre over for dinner. And she was like, what? Why would you do that? And probably in the inside, she probably jumping for joy. But hey, it is what it is. Now, Andre is back at the hospital. I'm assuming he thought he was going to catch Ashley, but he didn't. So he ended up trying to text her to let her know that Derek had invited him over for dinner. And Shanice, she's over there looking. She's just like, what are you doing? What did you do? What are you trying to do with this phone or whatever, whatever? So he ends up asking her for some advice about this whole situation, but he didn't really put too much on it, but he just gave her a little bit. Her advice was, if you got invited just an hour ago, you might as well go. And if a lady is going to be there, just give her some flowers. And I was just like, that's all wrong advice. But hey, we got to move the storyline forward. Yeah. Now I want to get into this real quick. I'm going to go back earlier in the episode when Chelsea came to her mom and told her mom that, I don't want to do the modeling thing no more. I don't want to be my manager. Just let me be me. You do you and let me do me, just like we said. Like, it has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't have, and she did have to, Chelsea had to think about it. Like, I don't want to be dumping you like my dad dumped you. And Danni came to the realization that that's how she was thinking, that now everybody's dumping me for somebody better. But she said, no, that's not the case, Mom. I just want to do my own thing. Okay. That's all I want. So Chelsea ends up leaving. But the crazy part about it is, Danni ends up getting this phone call because Danni was about to drink some of the juice, the Lucy juice. But just before she was about to drink it, she ended up getting a phone call. And the phone call was from Bill, right? So Bill ends up coming over to the house. Chad, let me tell you something. when when you got to look good for your ex, you got to go put on that good thing, get that good thing smelling, child, act like you cooking when you ain't, just, you know what I'm saying, making it seem like you doing your thing and you moving on without him. So she done went and changed her clothes, put on her good clothes, recurled her hair, and got some good smell good on, because she knew Bill was coming. So when Bill coming over there, he get to talking, because one thing that Naomi had told her dad is that everybody loves Danni. Danni has these people in the palm of her hands, and once Danni got you, she got you because she has that type of charm. And another thing that Naomi told him is like, hey, you really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Danni. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Danni. And that's one of the reasons why Bill ended up making that phone call to go and see Danni, because he thought that he was going to try to sway her and sway the people to do something different when it came to his wife. So when he gets over there, he starts the conversation out, oh, how, with the pleasuries and all that stuff. So he says that, how the place hasn't changed much. It still look the same. They talk about the sofa. I'm like, y'all got the same sofa at y'all house, Bill. You must didn't like it you must have grown to like it because you wanted the same thing at your own house with your new wife. But anyway, so he ends up asking her, do she want something to drink? She said, oh, just give me some sparkling water, because he thought he knew it. He was like, you used to drink that old dirty thing with a splash of this and a splash of that. She's like, no, just give me some sparkle or whatever. So they ends up talking about, the one of the houses that got sold. And she said, oh, I wanted to take the kids there one more time before it actually sold. And then, they go down memory lane. Of course, they go and get the book and they start looking through the book. And this is when the nostalgia happened. This is when we start reminiscing about how things used to be. This is right before, this was a time when his daughters really loved him. Now they can't stand him. And she's just like, well, I mean, it is your fault. You the one broke up the family. Pretty much, you did. And, they get to reminiscing about being at the place and how he helped them. He picked up the daughters around. It was a tornado or something coming. And I'm assuming that Bill thought that he was going to go over there and lay on the charm. So Danni can kind of let up on Hayley, or, I guess make her feel better about the situation so that Danni can tell other people to let up on Hayley or whatever he was coming over there to do. I don't think he was coming over there to do this. Child, you know how it is when you get to talking to that ex that you love, because she still love him. She don't want to let him go. Then they end up getting to kiss it, because she really kind of kissed toward him first, but he didn't rebuttal. He didn't fight back, because he was enjoying the moments too. He was thinking about, how it was with his daughters, and he looking at her old bathing suit, talking about the fine woman in the bathing suit. And I'm just like, well, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Now, I haven't watched the next episode, so I don't really know what's going to happen. But child, if they sleep together, I'm going to be like, come on, Bill. So you really still, I mean, come on, they was together, 30 years? That's hard to shake off. That's hard to shake off in any relationship. It's going to be feelings there, especially when the man breaks up the relationship. They always kind of feel like they can go back and get their old thing while they having a new thing. But I don't know where this is going to go. I have to go and watch the next episode. But y'all, this is Sheila Bila. Like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Bye.